Rolling. Hi everybody and welcome back to our weekly live stream. My name is Alicia and in this week's lesson we are going to talk about how to talk about quantities. We are going to cover countable and uncountable nouns and how we can count them. And we're also going to talk about these expressions like too much or too many or a few and what's the difference between them. We're also going to talk about little and a little. Finally, we are going to talk about using enough and any as well. So this lesson will include some kind of beginner level grammar that's okay for beginners, but I also hope intermediate learners and maybe advanced learners can find a few points, especially about the differences between these two things here. So there's a lot to cover today, so I want to get started as soon as possible. If you are watching live, please make sure to hit the like button and share this video so other people can find today's lesson. That would be awesome. A couple quick announcements while we wait. As always, first about this banner at the bottom of the screen. Free stuff. As always, there is free stuff for you to check out. You can find it if you click the link in the YouTube description. So check the link in the YouTube description below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. You will get this page right here. So lots of people ask how to actually get these PDFs I show you all the time. So on this page, scroll down like this. Scroll down, you'll find all of these here. You can choose the one you want. Scroll down here, and if you don't know how to get these, check this part, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it'll give you, you will find some steps to download these. You need your name and an email address, and then you're good. So check it out. You can get a bunch, whatever is interesting to you. These are some I chose shopping about town. So questions and phrases you can use on the back, whatever. You can download all of them if you want. So check those out. That's announcement number 1. Announcement number 2, as always, if you have questions for me. If you have questions for me, you can send them to me for our question and answer series, which is called Ask Alicia. That's me. So you can send me your questions and I will maybe answer them. I will read it for sure. I will 100% read your question. This is a screenshot from the series I always share. So you can find the link for this below the video on YouTube. It is at EnglishClass101.com/ask-Alicia. Check that out. And if you want to find me on Instagram or Twitter, the links are in the YouTube description. Also, this is my Instagram account, so come find me there. All right, that's all the announcements. Whew. All right, I think everything is good. Yeah, I see lots of people on YouTube. Hello, Jantini Adiz. Oh, someone, your name is written in Arabic. I can't read it, sorry. Claudine Kanwaljit, hello. Someone else, ABS, hi. Tian, hello. Javier, hello. Welcome, everybody. Cool. And it looks like we are good to go on Facebook as well. Hi, Facebook. Welcome, everybody on Facebook. Okay, so everything is going okay. We are connected. So today's lesson is about quantities, as I said. We're going to cover countable and uncountable nouns a lot in this lesson. So let's get started with the first part. I'll show you today's lesson boards now so you can take a picture. It looks like Facebook is okay, good. Tran, hello. Alicia Gonzalez, hi, we have similar names. Steve, hello. What's the difference between past perfect and future tense? Check our YouTube and Facebook videos, the English Class 101 videos. That is a different topic from today's lesson, but I have made many videos about those topics. Okay, I'll show you today's lesson boards then. Here is our flow for today. First, we're going to talk about countable and uncountable nouns, the basics, super basics. I'm not going to talk about details today. I have a couple videos about this. Then we're going to talk about a few, a little, what? The differences, key differences here. And then finally, we're going to talk about enough and any, okay? So for today's lesson, I chose, I wanted to focus on topics that I notice many learners have questions about, or that I read lots of mistakes. So sometimes I read your comments all the time, and I notice many mistakes about this topic. So I chose those points for today. I'm going to share the lesson, okay, and get started. Okay, so let's begin. First, countable nouns and uncountable nouns. What is this? Okay, so countable nouns and uncountable nouns may be a beginner grammar point for some of you. Maybe it's a new grammar point for some of you. Basically, countable nouns are nouns we can count with numbers. That means we make a countable noun, the plural form, with an S sound, So for example, a marker is a countable noun. I can count it with numbers. I can say 1 marker, 2 markers, 3 markers, and so on. To make the to make the plural form, we simply add an S sound. So here are some more examples of countable nouns. Dog, student, cookie, car. So we add S to make the plural form. So more than one, yeah? So dogs, students, cookies, cars, okay? So this is a countable noun. An uncountable noun, on the other hand, is a noun we cannot count with numbers. We cannot say 1 this or 2 that for an uncountable noun. We use counter words to do this. So here are some examples of uncountable nouns. We have air, water, time, money. So we can't say 1 money or 1 time. We don't use 1, 2, 3 before these nouns. We use counters. So for example, with water, a bottle of water or a glass of water. We use those counters to express the amounts or the quantities with uncountable nouns, right? Okay, so this is the basic. Then we need to think about countable and uncountable nouns. The difference is when we want to talk about how much or how many of something we have. So let's begin with countable nouns. Just a few examples here. When you want to express a large number of something, a countable noun, you can use, for example, these expressions. Lots of something, many something, tons of, or a lot of. There are many different expressions we can use to talk about large numbers, but these are very, very common. So we use lots of plus the plural form, like lots of markers, or many students, or tons of dogs, or a lot of cookies, yeah? So we use the plural form, noun plus S, after this to express a large number, okay? Then, on the other hand, Samir Abu writes bottles of waters. No, we would say bottles of water. We don't put an S at the end of this here. Bottles of water. Your counter word is plural here. Okay? Then, on the other hand, when you want to talk about large amounts of uncountable nouns, you can use expressions like these. So lots of is okay to use for both, yeah? Lots of is good for both. We can use tons of, also, a lot of. And then I have here much. This is a key point I see with learners. Lots of learners think, oh, I use many in this expression with countable nouns, much here. But we cannot use much in a positive sentence when we're talking about quantities. So for example, it's incorrect to say, I have much time. That's incorrect. We only use much with negative sentences. So for example, I don't have much time. Okay? So this is one kind of strange point to think about. Okay? Yes. Mode usury, huge. Yeah, huge is an adjective, right? So you can say a huge amount of something. Yes. So there are many different expressions we can use to talk about large numbers or large amounts. I chose, for today's lesson, I chose very, very common expressions we use. Okay? All right. Okay, I don't see other questions. Some interesting examples are coming in. Jantony says, lots of dogs eat pizza. Is that true? Okay. All right, good. Someone on Facebook, sorry, I can't read your name, says, I don't have much time. Good, good, good. Okay, let's continue. So we talked about large numbers and large amounts. Now let's talk about small numbers and small amounts. This leads us to part 2 for today's lesson. So to talk about a small number, you can use some or a few or few. What's the difference here? We are going to talk about this in part 2 of today's lesson, the difference between a few and few. What is the deal? On the other hand, for uncountable nouns, we can use some also. So some is okay here with both. We can use a little and little. And again, you might think, what is the difference between those? Part 2. I'm going to focus on these points in part 2. Okay, then this is another thing I've noticed some learners make mistakes with. When you want to express that you have more of something than you need, if your noun is countable, you can say too many, too many. For example, I have too many books. I have too many books. Like, I have no space. I have too many books. If your noun is uncountable, you use I have too much free time. So in this expression, it's okay to say too much. This is fine. But we cannot use much. I have much free time is incorrect. Okay? So please note, we cannot use so in this expression. Sometimes I see learners using so and to in the same way. It's incorrect. I'm going to talk about that in next week's live lesson, actually. Okay? So this is the basis for today's lesson, countable and uncountable nouns. We need to know this to understand the rest of today's lesson, the other points. Okay? So if you have questions, please send them in the chat. I will try to check your questions live. Okay, looks good. So let's go to a very short break, and then we're going to talk about few and little and a few and a little. Okay, cool. So if you haven't, please make sure to hit the like button, yeah, hit the thumbs up and share the video. It will help other people to find today's lesson, okay? All right, also, if you missed it earlier, there is free stuff for you from the link below the video if you're watching on YouTube, or above the video if you're watching on Facebook. So I chose a few that I usually don't show you. Here's a PDF about free time activities. Leisure time activities means free time, the stuff you do in your free time. So you can find weekend plan expressions on the back, like, what are you doing this weekend? I'm going to something, something, something. Yeah, I have to decide that. I was thinking about that this week. What are you doing this weekend? Okay, so you can check this out and find some ideas for your weekend down here. Or I was also looking, I show you this one sometimes, the business English one too. On the back are phrases you can use for a business meeting. There are also quite a few new PDFs on the website, so if you checked before and downloaded all of them, check again, because the team added a lot of new things, so don't miss it. You can still download it. Okay. Oh, good. Some questions are coming. Dennis Ayux on YouTube says, can I say I did so many mistakes? Close. Say I made so many mistakes. We say to make a mistake. To make a mistake. That's a set phrase. I made so many mistakes. Okay? Yoshida Itsumi says, I don't need more snacks. I already have too many snacks. Oh, really? I can never have too many snacks. I love snacks. So, okay, good. Let's go to part two. So let's talk about few and a few and little and a little. This is a small difference, I know, but it changes the feeling of your sentence a lot, this decision. So this is a key point for intermediate learners, I think, and advanced learners. Please, please, please remember this. Okay, so let's look. A few, what's the deal here? So this part, is about countable nouns. That's the first point. We use a few and few with countable nouns. So in this sentence, in these two sentences, I'm going to compare the differences. So let's read first. What's the difference? My company bought a few computers. My company bought a few computers, okay? And my company bought few computers. My company bought few computers. Both sentences are 100% correct. No problem. They're great. Great sentences. Perfect. So what's the difference? The difference is right here, this a. So my company bought a few computers, or my company bought few computers. What's the difference? This sentence here with a few sounds like a simple neutral fact. I'm giving you information. Oh, my company bought a few computers last week. It's just basic information, like a report, yeah? This sentence, my company bought few computers, sounds like a negative situation or a negative condition. So my company bought few computers. We need a lot though. Our team is growing. So this small change shows us that the situation is negative, or maybe there was a negative effect. We'll see the same thing with little in just a minute. So this shows us simple report, simple fact. No here shows it's a negative situation or condition. However, there is one case or one situation where it does not mean it's negative. In this example sentence, my company has few problems. So here I have few, no My company has few problems. If the noun after few problems is a negative noun, the feeling of the sentence is positive. So one important point, when I say negative noun here, I mean this noun means something bad, something that's a problem, something bad in society. In this case, a problem is not a good thing, right? So my company has few problems. In this case, when the noun is a bad thing and you use few, the sentence sounds positive. The feeling is positive. Like, oh, my company has few problems. My company has very few problems. It's great. This sentence sounds happy. It sounds good. Okay? So this is the difference with few and a few. Okay? Good. Some of your examples are coming in. Good. Let's see. There is, Salma, there is a few apple in the fridge. Very close. Plural. There are a few apples in the fridge. Don't forget your S at the end of your countable noun. Okay? Eduardo says, why do you put apples in the fridge? Okay. All right. Other examples. There are a few books for reading here. Nice one. Rakesh. Okay. Magdalena says, I bought few computers. Okay, yeah, so that's good if you want to express a negative situation or a negative condition. I bought few computers. Okay. Daniel says, there are few rich people in the world. Really? Really? Ooh, I don't know. How many are there? Okay. All right, let's go then. Let's go to the next part. Someone, let's see, some of you are writing some examples of this. Let's compare this to a little and little. So same thing, right? A, little, and little. Same idea as a few and few. The difference, we use little and a little with uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns, right? So before we talked about air, water, time, money, we need counter words for this, yeah? Okay, so let's compare these two sentences. First, we have a little time to finish the project. We have a little time to finish the project. And we have little time to finish the project. We have little time to finish the project. So again, these two, the only difference is this yeah? We have a little time and we have little time. Again, this sentence with a sounds like a simple neutral fact. We have a little time to finish the project. It's okay. Don't worry. We have a little time. Sounds okay. Just fact. This sentence sounds negative. We have little time to finish the project. We have little time. Sounds like, oh, we need to rush or we need to hurry. There's a lot to do. We have little time to finish the project. Okay? All right. I'm looking for your other questions. No. Okay. So, same idea as with few, but again, we have to use this with uncountable nouns. Here, my noun is time. This is an uncountable noun. We have a little time to finish the project. So I cannot use a few. We have a few time? No. If you change this noun, we have a few hours. Hours is okay. Hours is a countable noun, a few. So make sure you check your noun. Is it countable or uncountable here? Finally, the same thing we saw in our last example sentence here with few is also true here. This example sentence, my city has little pollution. My city has little pollution. What's pollution? Pollution is bad air or bad water, dirty air or dirty water. So the city is not clean, yeah? So pollution means all that bad or dirty stuff, yeah? So my city has little pollution. Again, if the noun after little, in this case, is a negative noun, something bad, the feeling of the sentence is positive. So, my city has little pollution. This is a good thing. So, pollution, not good, but I want to express there's not very much of it. My city has little pollution. This sentence sounds positive. Okay? All right, good, looks good. Okay, I'm looking for your questions. We still have a little time for a cup of coffee, says Jorge. Perfect, that's a great example. You could use that at the end of like a business meeting. You could use that maybe after you have lunch with a friend. You can say, oh, we still have a little time for a cup of coffee. Not we still have little time. But that little the small there, it makes a big difference in feeling, yeah? Okay. Zachariah, I hope I said that right, on Facebook says, there is little clean air in big cities. Very nice, very nice. Okay, good examples. Javier, what's the difference between little and small? Ah, good point. in this, when we're talking about how much of something, when we're talking about a quantity like this, we can use a small amount of time, I suppose. Like in this sentence, we have a small amount of time, but we can't replace it directly. We have a small time to finish the project doesn't work. So we can't switch little and small in these example sentences. If, however, you are talking about size, like a small, I don't know, car, then it's fine. You can use both of them the same. Okay? All right, good. Time's going quick, so let's go to the last point for today. The final point for today is about enough and any. How do we use enough and how do we use any? Okay? Let's take a look. Again, let's compare a few points. So, enough. This is one I see, okay, I see some mistakes with this, so let's talk about it. All right. Oh, some questions are coming. Nayeli, can these words be used formally and I'm not sure what you mean by unnaturally, but formally, yes, you can use these words in formal situations. You might hear some longer expressions used, but yes, you can. Okay. Other points. Cindy, SMS, one of our members, hi, says, can I say a little bit? Yes, you can say a little bit. That sounds a little casual, actually. Okay. Okay, let's go to the last point. Enough. Let's talk about enough. What is the deal? So, again, let's compare enough. Two sentences. First, we have enough time. We have enough time. And we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. So what does enough express? What is its deal? So when we use enough in a positive sentence like this, in this case, I have it with time, an uncountable noun. This means it matches the need in the situation. We have enough time. So enough time means the time I have matches my requirement, matches my need. So for example, it takes me 1 hour to finish this task. I have 1 hour to finish the task. I can say, I have enough time. It matches my need. On the other hand, however, we don't have enough time. Negative, don't have enough time, means this does not match my need. So my task takes 1 hour. I have 30 minutes. I don't have enough time. The time does not match my need, right? Okay. So sometimes I see maybe like enough used in sort of interesting ways, so please be careful of how you use enough. Enough is used to talk about matching a requirement. It's also common to see enough in requests and questions too. So here's a request. In this case, I used it with a countable noun. You can do this. You can use it with countable nouns, uncountable nouns. So, for example, please buy enough snacks for everyone at the party. Please buy enough snacks for everyone at the party. What does this mean? Make sure to meet the requirement or the need. So, I say to someone else, please buy enough snacks for everyone at the party. That means please make sure you buy snacks, you buy so many snacks that everyone can eat. You are matching the needs of our situation. Okay? All right, good. Some examples are coming in. That is enough water, says Bright Moon. Good. I have enough clothes to wear. Good. Okay. Miguel, we don't have enough money. Good. Jantony, I don't have enough meal. Maybe I don't have enough food in my fridge, we would say, usually. I don't have enough time. Good. Nice examples, everyone. Okay. Looks good. Looks really, really good. Okay. Oh, John Carlo says, can we use sufficient? Yes. Sufficient is not used as much in everyday conversation. Sufficient is used in more like business, polite, or like formal documents, for example. Like, we did not have sufficient time to prepare the report. That sounds much more formal. We don't use it so much in everyday conversation, though, yes. Okay, good. Okay, I don't see other questions. Let's go to the last point for today. Very quickly, I want to review any. I didn't talk about any at the beginning of today's lesson, so let's cover it here. Any, what? Any. We use any in questions, and we use any in negative sentences. For example, do we have any milk? Do we have any milk? Sometimes I see learners go, do we have some milk? Make sure to use any when you're asking questions like this. Do we have any? Not some, not some. And when you want to talk about having zero of something, we don't have any snacks. This sentence is okay too. We don't have snacks. This one sounds more like, oh, we have zero snacks. Oh no, we don't have any snacks. Okay, so make sure you use them in these two situations, using questions, using negative sentences. I'm not going to talk about this point a lot today because I have a video on the English Class 101 YouTube and maybe on Facebook and our website. I talked about any and some and quantifiers, so many points. Maybe I'll put some links in the YouTube description after this lesson. So if you want to review some of today's points, you can check those links. So please have a look at the YouTube description when this lesson ends. Okay? Good. Some of you are sending questions with any. Some people say, do you have any questions for me? Do you have any idea what time you'll be there? Very nice example. Is there any food? Says Zupar. Very nice. Yoshida-san, Itsui-san says, I don't have any money. Good. Abi says, do we have any money? Great. Your any questions are really good. Really good. Eduardo, good question. Can we change any for no? So for example, like in this sentence, we don't have any snacks. We cannot do it directly. You can't say we don't have no snacks. Some ways of speaking English use that, yes. But you might hear more commonly, we have no snacks. We have no snacks. So no double negative there. More common is we have no snacks. Yeah? Okay? Okay. Wow, some good examples are coming in. All right. Everybody is really good with any. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, but I have to finish. I don't have any more time left, so I have to say goodbye to you. If you would like to take a picture of today's lesson board, here you go. That is what we talked about today. Countable and uncountable nouns. A few, a little, enough, and any. And yeah, after this lesson, I will add some links to the YouTube description so you can check and review. Okay? Yeah, if you missed any of this, check the lesson recording. It was super fun. Okay, I'll be back next week, of course. Next week's lesson, here's the information. Next week, April 21st, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is New York City time. If you don't know your local time, please Google it. Or you can set a notification on Facebook or on YouTube, or if you follow me on Instagram, I always post a link in my stories with a reminder for the topic, so you can follow me there. Next week, I'm going to talk about how to use emphasis words. So I hinted at it today, like so, to, very, extremely, way, and many more. So I want to cover, of course, how we use these words, like formality, is it formal or casual, and some common mistakes. Like I see a lot of mistakes with to, for example. So please join me again next week to talk about how to use emphasis words. We'll have a good time. And of course, don't forget to check out the link below the video on YouTube or above the video on Facebook to get your free PDFs to study vocabulary. All right, I'll say goodbye for now. So have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your